Hey, how's it going, yo? Caesar Stone Man back at it again. So today, for you my Caesarians, I got a video talking about semen retention yet again. And in this one, I want to talk about how you will turn heads. It's undeniable and nearly inevitable that once you get to a certain point on retention, when you've maintained your seed to a certain degree, that your body just realigns with a pure and healthy state. People won't help. They can't help but to give you attention. They can't help but to turn their heads when you walk in the room. And I mentioned in one of my last videos on this topic that whenever you're on retention, you kind of have this extra energy given to you by your seed, this extra kind of power that you're carrying within you. And when you imagine how a king is when he walks in the room, people understand instantly that's the majesty, that's the king, because he has a kingly sort of energy about him given to him by all of his subjects and the attention they give. There's this great quote from a meditative community. I think it's a quote from I don't know, the Hindi, from the people who meditate often, the Indian gurus and such. And one of their quotes is, where your focus goes, your energy follows, and your focus is your attention. And when someone is the king, all the people's attention goes to that one person. All their energy also go to that king. And so this is why, like in conversation, you be talking to someone, and when they give you a lot of eye contact, it means you're the dominant person because they're focusing and giving you all their energy as you return them some of that energy through conversation. And, again, like when people focus all their energy on you, that means that you're the one in power. And so, again, you as someone on retention already are going to be naturally carrying a lot of energy and power within yourself from all the life force that you're accumulating. Those little seeds have subconsciouses in their own personal life. And when you amass millions upon millions on them per day for weeks on end, yeah, I mean, your body eventually recycles some of the excess to put nutrients back into you, which is why your face starts to glow and your eyes start to shine and such. But in essence, you will be walking around with the power of many, many lives. You will be it's like, some people walking around who come all the time. It's like they got a gas generator. You're walking around nuclear, baby. You got a nuclear generator. Atoms just going in there. You know what I'm saying? Basically, you're carrying a whole lot of energy. And that's going to just read in your aura. Our energy doesn't just stay contained. It announces itself through vibrations, through wavelengths. And people, whether our conscious mind can only sort of realize and only can sort of pick up these vibrations, but we have systems in our programming and our human consciousness, our subconscious, that can pick up these vibrations and the energy signals, and you can get a read from people. This is what the certain vibe or aura that you'll read off someone. Sometimes someone just walks in and without being a physiognomist, meaning someone who can read facial expressions, you can kind of get an energy reading off this person. Like, that guy's creepy, or this guy's that guy's that. You know what I mean? This guy, oh, he seems like a good guy. You know what I mean? Seems like how do you get that feeling? Your subconscious reading their energy where your consciousness can't and telling you something, probably a good person. And you're reading it, and whatever the physical evidence that you're seeing matches, confirms that person's probably a good person. You talk to them, get to know them a little more. They're actually a good person. What do you know? The energy that they were giving off signaled it far beforehand. And so in this regard, you walk in a room and your energy gives off, I am the fucking king. Excuse my language, but you announce, I am that guy. You know what I'm saying? Because you have plenty of testosterone, you're giving off the energy of masculinity, you're also giving off the energy of massive power. This is essentially the kind of celebrity-esque feeling that we kind of can carry when we walk in a room. And from that same energy, people, whether they realize it or not, their subconscious will pick that up before they do. And then their consciousness has to figure out, what did I just pick up? Who just stepped in the room? And yeah, you're going to turn heads. People are going to look over and just need to figure out who exactly that person is who is carrying all that energy, who's walking around with all that power. And again, like, this is why you turn heads. And I've noticed where I stay, I stay in the shelter right now. I'm still getting back on my feet. But, I walk in the room and people, whether they're in conversation, whether they're sitting down, they just turn and look at me. And it's kind of uncomfortable, bro, because I can feel their energy like going out and grabbing a piece of my energy, just, like in the same way that, because because we were loving ourselves and showing all this love into ourselves, we're kind of carrying Christ energy. And, it says in the New Testament that the one woman who needed healing went out just to touch his garment, just to get a feeling of his energy to be healed. And, crowds would follow Jesus around. And just because he had all that love and good energy, people just needed to be around him, needed to feel that, needed to be in the presence of the Messiah. In that same way, when we walk around with that love energy, when we are aligned with the goodness of God, suddenly we are walking around with that same kind of power and presence. And it says in the New Testament also that Jesus wants, his followers in the future to outdo him. And we kind of can do that when we walk around in the perfect alignment with love. And again, people are going to be looking at you, trying to get a piece of your energy. I mean, people will hold me in conversation. I look over and see someone looking at me as they're walking to me and just know this person's about to stop and talk to me. And I'll look at them now, like trying to go back to what I'm doing. And what do you know? The person comes out and says, "Hey, do you want to just chat with me?" And it's like, okay, I will now communicate with you. And I be trying to just isolate and stay in my own energy like Jesus was. I get why he left to the mountains. It's like, man, I'm not trying to interact with all you people. But as I said in my last video, I never mind trying to, quickly pour in a little bit. Cup runneth over. I want to pour in other people. And I wasn't just given this gift of having all this loving energy, the knowledge of retention, and the strength to do it, not to show that to other people and give them that love and some of that generosity that I've been shown in return. So, recycling it, spreading it around, spreading that love around. But it's just good to remember, y'all. Don't be uncomfortable. Try not to be, surprised or shocked when you're on retention and you're feeling good and feeling powerful. And suddenly other people start to take notice of this and start to seek out a little piece of your energy too. You may start to attach to you. And listen, I be getting jealous looks too. You know what I'm saying? People be looking up at me and you can tell they're just not content with who they are inside. And they give me that kind of like that glare, that mean stare. And it's like, man, I try not to let it bother me these days, but I always just mark that person as like, I just like mark their vibe like in my checkbook of who's my op and who's my friend. I'm like, op tendencies, you know what I'm saying? So I always try to mark who's around me and make sure I understand, who I'm dealing with. But, it's like, it's good to be in your own presence, to be in your own energy, and to isolate that goodness and to not let other people affect it. Whether that's someone who's trying to grab at your energy because they need a piece of that, they're seeking out some of that goodness for themselves because they don't have it, or someone who's trying to tear down your goodness and be standoffish and offended by you just because you're walking around and carrying that good energy. Really, when we're grounded in when we're grounded in our love, when we're rooted in the foundation, the rock of our salvation, that is Christ, we have no need to worry about whether other people give us whether other people are whether other people approve of us or who we are, or whether other people try and take from us and get some of our energy because we're relying on an infinite energy source that is all things good. And when you rely on that energy source, again, your cup runneth over and you never run out. You're always filled up. So we're filled up in the physical, we're filled up in the spiritual also, and when we carry that cup that's just full, whether people notice it or not consciously, their subconscious will pick up on that and they'll be feeling some kind of way. They'll be giving you some kind of energy and some kind of attention because they just can't help it. You know what I mean? When someone powerful walks in the room, you got to figure out who's powerful and why they're that powerful. And again, naturally, it's just kind of our instinct. People are going to be turning their heads and checking you out. So don't be shocked or surprised when these things occur. All right, y'all. I pray this video enlightened you and helped you kind of get an understanding about why people might be giving you a little bit of extra attention and might be looking your way a little bit more on this retention journey. I used to talk about, and other people would mention in the comments, like they walk in a store, and suddenly everyone's checking them out, they can't go down an aisle without someone coming up and talking to them or giving them a stare. And it can get kind of annoying, but this is the price we pay to be so powerful. So, hey, not really a price at all. All right, y'all, take care and God bless you. Peace.